combustível utilizado pelas companhias aéreas para podermos alcançar os objetivos da descarbonização em termos com dois dos nossos principais parceiros, a TAP e a Galp. Na aviação só juntos que se consegue avançar para implementar medidas concretas, de modo a atingir um maior impacto entre nós e assim diminuir a nossa pegada carbónica global. Em Portugal, a ANA Aeroportos de Portugal, a apresentação de planos de ação em energia na substituição de ação convencional em LEDs nos aeroportos, mais eficientes, em todos os terminais, nas plataformas de estacionamento, nos parques de estacionamento viários, a substituição de equipamentos de climatização e de ventilação nos terminais até 2030. Isto é um ponto importante, é um investimento importante, mas é um ponto importante. A contribuição desta ação é forte nas nossas emissões carbónicas a nível das infraestruturas. A renovação da frota, obviamente, da frota de veículos da empresa, baixas emissões, e a dotação das nossas infraestruturas de pontos de carregamento. Acho que no aeroporto de Lisboa estamos a volta de 97, André, é isso? É isso. Fotovoltaica à operação no aeroporto de Faro e serão lançados em breve agora mais 6 projetos no Porto, nos Açores e na Madeira. Finalmente, a implementação de solução de monitorização, isto é uma inovação que lançamos aqui em Portugal. A monitorização da pegada de carbono nas aeronaves no aeroporto de Lisboa, em termos de caminho de circulação lá no chão. A ANA lançou em 2021 uma ferramenta para termos esta monitorização em tempo real das emissões de CO2 durante o taxiing das aeronaves a nível internacional e que agora será replicada em toda a rede dos aeroportos da Aviation Aeroportos. O nosso compromisso, hoje é um exemplo disso com toda a indústria aeronáutica, com do Fórum do Carbono, com os nossos parceiros, que é uma iniciativa que junta as companhias aéreas, que junta as companhias de assistência, os handlers, os grandes consumidores de energia, as câmaras municipais, as empresas de transporte, alimentação de inovação com recurso a hidrogênio, mais eficaz é a utilização dos sustentáveis. Portanto, acreditamos que na aviação pode-se promover uma mobilidade positiva, realmente a nossa pegada ambiental, e porque não podemos perder tempo neste trabalho que temos de avançar para soluções mais sustentáveis e para o ambiente, aquelas que estão disponíveis. O SAF é uma solução disponível hoje o primeiro voo abastecidos com SAF em Portugal. E estamos entusiasmados para no futuro, vir a ser possível abastecer aviões nos nossos aeroportos com SAFs, com Sustainable Aviation Fuel, que é, portanto, crucial para podermos atingir aquilo que é o nosso objetivo de todos, que é a neutralidade de todo o setor. E na parte das infraestruturas temos aqui na Europa uma meta, um objetivo ainda mais ambicioso, que é conseguirmos a neutralidade carbónica até 2000. Este é o início de um caminho. Acreditamos que isto é o caminho certo para a descarbonização do setor da aviação e para uma mobilidade positiva. E quero agradecer aqui aos nossos parceiros, a Galp e a TAP, pelo empenho nesta iniciativa, por essa parceria, que é uma parceria virada para o futuro. E o nosso futuro é também o futuro da aviação. Muito obrigado. E deixo aqui o palco a Christine.
Nope.
Ou Andy o segundo. Andy. É verdade.
Ok, boa tarde a todos. And CEO of ANA, CEO of TAP, it's an honor to be here today. But we're here at a time, an unprecedented time, a time of war in Ukraine, a time of an energy crisis, but also a time of a climate crisis. And I think it's great to be able to celebrate a first. And that first is the first sustainable aviation fuel flight in Portugal. Aviation emits 4% of European Union CO2 and about 14% of our transport CO2. But it's growing very fast. From 2019 to 2030, the world looks at a 40% growth in aviation. activity. And that's why the European Union has regulated for 5% of aviation fuels to be sustainable aviation fuels by 2030. But if we look at the energy transition, aviation is one of the hard-to-abate sectors where we will really need partnership. It's a sector where electrification will only have a limited application. We need to find energy-dense fuels in order to fly the planes of the future. And it is ironic that Christine and I both worked together before we came to Portugal. We both worked together on a sustainable aviation fuel project, a startup company. This one was in hydrogen. And it's great to be with you again today, talking about sustainable aviation. But although the relationship between Christine and I go back, both came to Portugal, the relationship between TAP and Galp goes back to the 1960s, at the start of commercial. And today, Galp provides 40% of the fuel that TAP uses and 75% here in Portugal. So our partnership is long and deep. But today we supply 39% of the fuel on this plane from a sustainable HEFA, a hydrogen and fatty acids. I have to say that Galp didn't manufacture that product. A company called Este, a Finnish company, manufactured that product. And we will, and TAP and ANA will put 2,500 litres of this sustainable fuel on the plane so that the CO2 emissions of this flight will be reduced by a third. But Galp is not just going to be a supplier of these fuels. Galp will be a manufacturer of these fuels in the future. So early next year, we hope to start building our own HEFA project, a project we call the HVO project. This is a 240,000-ton project, 100,000 times more than the fuel that is being loaded on this plane today. That's a world-scale project that will be able to deliver sustainable aviation fuels for Portugal and outside. Because Galp is determined to transition. We're spending half our capex on renewable energy and renewable fuels and renewable solutions. Biofuels will be a central part of that, and hydrogen, and the lithium value chain, and a growth in renewables. And we announced an increase of a third of our renewable portfolio even just yesterday, when we took over the whole of the Titan.
Supported the IATA resolution, which adopts the collective goal of achieving zero carbon emission by 2050, in support of the Paris Agreement goal, and reaffirming airline support of the ICAO carbon offsetting and reduction system for internal aviation, called CORSIA, as an effective measure to stabilize net emission for internal aviation at 2019 levels in the short and medium terms. TAP also is a founding member of BioRef, a collaborative and collective laboratory for biofuel research. Today, one of TAP's A21LR, NEO, will fly from Lisbon to Ponta Delgada, supplied with fuel that incorporates, if I understand well, 39% of material from renewable sources, developed by partners of Galp. This supply lessens around 35% of greenhouse gas emission on a life cycle basis compared to jet fuel. The choice for this aircraft was not random. The 321LR long range, or we say in TAP Lisbon range, is the future. A remarkable narrow-body aircraft that can reach further than others, that can cross the Atlantic from Lisbon in a more sustainable and efficient way. At the same time, this particular aircraft carries a retro livery that reminds us of TAP's main achievement over the last 77 years. There could be no better symbol for TAP, a legacy airline, heading towards the future of aviation. Today, as in the past, leading the way. By signing this document today, TAP Air Portugal, GAP and ANA Aeroportos put their joint commitment in writing, but mostly in willing to promote, use, develop and research SAF fuels, which will be part of the future of our industry. For all three of us, developing sustainably sourced aviation fuels is a priority for moving towards an increasingly low-carbon industry, knowing that achieving net zero carbon emission by 2050 will require a range of solutions, including electrification, hydrogen solution, and SAF. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, in the front. So we.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So now we have time for 2 or 3 questions very shortly. I don't know if someone wants to. Can you present yourself, please? And yes.
Hi, how are you? Catarina Damani, Reuters News Agency. Sustainable aviation fuels right now are in short supply. How much will it cost TAP to buy this kind of fuels? And could the high price of the fuel threaten, at hard for you to for TAP on this for Galp on this theme? Like TAP, because of the high price, cannot sustainable aviation fuel as desired. Could that also have an impact on your production? In other words, do you need more airlines to buy the fuel for you to be able to invest in production? Thank you.
Well, I was starting. It's a bit too early to understand. Our position is that we will work on the decision, and we work on the implementation decision as soon as decision will be taken, okay? And we are very busy in TAP with our restructuring plan. We definitely would like to understand what the future will be, and that's for us in all our industry, and my colleagues know that, Thierry too, implementation, not only the what, but the how is very important. So we confirm our commitment to be part of any solution. And we think that a solution is important for the country. There are, any solution will have a how, okay? How and who and when. And today, I don't have, all the details to answer to your question. What I think that any solution will be positive for the industry, for Portugal. Well, as you obviously know, because you're in the news, we are living difficult days in the industry, and not only for TAP and Portugal, but everywhere. We are working very hard on delays. There are multiple causes. We have our own improvement to be made by recruiting more, by optimizing our processes, and we do a lot. People are working very hard in TAP, but also working very hard with our partners. So we not only have delays because we could also say that you can always have a better infrastructure, of course, and only my position on that. Sometimes there are also delays that are caused by delays from flight coming from other airports, okay? And when you look at the performance of Lisbon in this very difficult time, with the limitation we have, I think that a lot of people are working very, very hard to mitigate, everything that could have gone even worse. I'm not saying we are happy, okay, because an airline has to be on time, an airline has to be regular. We see some improvement in the last few days. The fact that TAP, has a number of delays, more than others, it's quite obvious by statistics because of our size in Lisbon. Doesn't make us happier, okay? But at the same time, we are working days in, days out, and nights to improve. So, and we are recruiting more cabin crew, for instance. So, but that's a long list of initiatives that have been taken by the team before the summer and during the summer, because we have also challenges again. And so our crew, for instance, could hit some, duty times because the flight coming in is delayed. And so they cannot stay on the next flight. So we have to take another cabin crew. So this has been taken into account and we are taking action. But it's a challenge and we will do our best with our partners.
Muito boa tarde. Gonçalo Cabral, da TVI CNN Portugal. Uma pergunta para o Thierry sobre esta questão do novo aeroporto. O Primeiro-Ministro esteve reunido esta tarde com o líder da oposição, Luís Montenegro. Não saiu uma decisão ainda sobre o que será e onde será e como será o novo aeroporto, apenas uma reunião agradável e produtiva. Eu queria perguntar se da parte da ANA há algum tipo de preocupação por ainda não haver uma decisão e principalmente por esta última situação que aconteceu entre o Primeiro-Ministro e o Ministro das Infraestruturas. Qual é, nesta altura, o sentimento da ANA em relação a esta situação do novo aeroporto de Lisboa? Obrigado.
Obrigado pela sua pergunta. Acho que nós na ANA, como os nossos parceiros, as companhias aéreas, como o setor do turismo, acho que a totalidade dos partidos políticos em Portugal tem esta sensação de que é urgente uma tomada de decisão em relação à solução de expansão da capacidade em Lisboa. Portanto, acreditamos que o Governo e as entidades consultadas pelo Governo vão definir qual é o melhor caminho e nós estaremos, obviamente, disponíveis ao lado do Governo para concretizar a solução, a escolha que for feita nesta altura. Mas, efetivamente, a única coisa que podemos dizer nesta altura é que todos queremos começar o mais rapidamente possível com obras de expansão da capacidade aeroportuária da região de Lisboa. Muito obrigado.